Hello and welcome to another exciting episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real with you, Chief, right here off the bat.
Yeah.
For those of you who tuned into last week's episode, and I was like, oh man, it's been such a long week.
Last
so
week's
crazy.
excuse.
Yeah, last week's excuse. This week was just marginally better.
Right.
But
only slightly.
And I'm like I said just a second ago, I'm going to be real with you. I'm running off of caffeine and willpower right now. That's about all I got.
I'm going to be fake with you.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
I'm held together by baling wire and duct tape right now.
Wow. I was going to say something like
However, the truth is, I'm also running off of
there
caffeine
you go.
and nothing else.
Our indomitable human spirit.
I'm going to be honest, man. That indifferent cruelty be hitting.
Oh, would be hitting
pretty hard right now.
It's not bad. I'm keeping in high hopes because today was better.
Yeah.
Today,
good day.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. Last night was one of those nights where I was like, it
ain't happening.
There's like the checklist was growing,
Yep.
and like things weren't getting checked off fast enough as I was leaving.
A pen was running out of ink.
Dude, I was trying so hard. I was like, man, I'm gonna have to work some miracles tomorrow. I have to say,
Come on now, you have to. You said so.
I lost my train of thought.
Well, I guess you didn't have to.
No. What I'm trying to say is that yesterday was, like I said before, yesterday there was like I was looking at the checklist for the next day and was like, dude, I have no idea how I'm going to try and like tackle all this stuff.
Right.
This is what I was going to tell you, and I forgot that I'm back on track again.
Okay.
I did so much in the first few hours of work. I felt so good. Contacted all the people I had to get in touch with. I really worked some magic, and I was like, you know what?
Got all your ducks in a row.
There may be a light at the end of this tunnel.
There's a chance.
But I don't want to jinx anything. And dude, I'm telling you, it was something out of a movie. I've been getting in contact with this vendor about getting this project all finished that I'm doing. And he contacted me yesterday about getting the project like moving forward. He gave me a quote on things. And I was like, before I start doing anything, is there any way you can give me samples of products like this? That way I have like a physical representation of it. Right. It's like a sign thing that's going to be like printed on this thing and like hung up.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be able to like at least see what the final product would kind of look like, so I can show my superiors the same sort of thing.
Right.
So that way, I'm not just telling him to go ahead and spending money
blowing
that we don't.
Hot air.
Exactly. And then we get a final product, and everyone's like, "Ew, I hate it."
Right. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, exactly.
Garbage.
So I'm prefacing that because I thought that he was going to do that like later this weekend or potentially next week.
Right.
Whatever. I missed a phone call from him today, and I was in the process of like sending out emails, and other text messages, and other things that are going on. That I'm telling you, dude, it was so funny that and this guy, he's so sweet, and I know he was joking, but I felt a little bit bad at the joke because I know I was just trying my best. That I finally had a chance to catch a breath.
Yeah.
And I have like granola bars and like other like sort of snacks in my desk that I kind of keep off to the side.
Emergency rations.
Just a little bit where I'm like, for moments just like this where like I can't quite leave the office right now, but I just want like a little something to kind of keep me going.
Right.
I got some water. I got a little. I got some coffee, afternoon coffee or whatever. And
Got
so
a
like
couple Kit Kats in there.
and so it's just a granola bar, something simple, something easy,
Right.
and just so I can snack on until like I can finish what I got going on right here, and then potentially leave the office.
Right.
So I reach over and I kid you not, dude. I open this granola bar, and I set it down, and I'm about to. And before I can even take it out the package fully to take a bite, the secretary lady walks in and is like, "Hey, so and so's here to see you," and then get out, and of course, I mean, and like this, the first thing he said was, "Hey, you're supposed to call me back," and I was like. And dude, I had no idea he was supposed to even be here today.
I've lost my fucking mind.
It was all a joke because
Right.
he's a nice guy and he was just poking fun.
Yeah.
But for me and the few days that I've had, I was like, you son of a bitch. And so the thing is, he had all the test prints that, or like the kind of prototypes that he wanted to show me, and
the floor samples.
and I had no idea he was going to be here. Because I didn't plan this, I didn't schedule this.
Surprise!
And he's like, "Hey, do you have a few minutes just to?" And I was like, I didn't say it like this, but I was like, "Yeah, sure, of course." So I just pushed the granola bar aside. And was like, "Son of a bitch!" And
later.
I push away from my desk and I look at all of the stuff. And I mean, like, to be honest, it's great. Like the final product is going to be great, and I'm super excited about it. And of course, the boss was in the office, so I just was like, "Hey, let me just go check this
it out
down the hallway."
Yeah.
He's like, "Wow, this is going to be super cool." And I'm really excited about it. And I think your design is going to look great. I'm like, okay.
Right. Okay.
I'm super
Can I eat
excited.
my granola bar now?
So he finally says goodbye. I introduce him to the boss guy. So everyone's saying hello. Everyone's all buddy, shaking hands, all that kind of stuff. And I sneak away. And I'm like, I close my office door and I'm like, don't nobody talk to me.
Is sitting in a corner munching on your granola bar.
Please. Dude, I tell you, I was like, it was just, I got a good laugh of it in the moment. And I was like, I know that later this is going to be even more funny. But I was like, bruh. And he even, like, and the thing is, the guy even reached out to me again and was like, "Hey, dude, like, I really didn't mean to, like, I really didn't mean to be mean or whatever."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Dude, I apologize. It's been busy." And he was like, "I could tell you look like you had a whole bunch of stuff on your desk." And I was like,
"You don't know my life.
Hey, it's
fine."
Yeah. He was like, and of course, like I said, we picked around before, but it was just like, I think I was wearing that week on my sleeve a little bit. I looked a little bit like I had a lot of stuff to do, and he was like, "Hey, man, I didn't mean to just." I was in the neighborhood, and I was like, I appreciate the fact that I asked for a sample yesterday, and you come the next day with it. I'm like, I appreciate it. Trust me. Spot on. Great guy. I'm super excited to work with him. Anyways, that was all this, and I was like, man, oh man.
Right.
So yeah, and then of course, if that's not,
there's more.
If there's not enough, I want to go. I mean, we live in Louisiana. We live in the South, and the rain can just come at a moment's notice. And today, I went to go drive by the store really fast to go pick up some things for the office, just really quick.
Yeah.
And it was like sunshiny, bright. I walk inside and I hear what I think is like the rumblings of thunder. And I'm like, surely it can't be raining.
Right.
It was a cloudless sky. I walk outside and it's a monsoon rainstorm. Just the bottom fell out. And I was like, oh, lovely.
That's how it is.
Love it. So, anyways, I just wanted to talk about that because again,
shit-ass weather.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because again, that's a little update from last week and this week that I'm doing great. I think I'm in high spirits,
thriving.
Well, I don't know about that.
Trying to thrive.
Yeah. I'm surviving. But yeah, so I'm running off of willpower and caffeine right now.
Yep.
That's what I got going on.
Spiral power.
Hell yeah. How about you? You doing okay? You doing better than last week? Or
I don't know.
I don't know.
Be honest with you, I've
yeah.
got no indication of how I'm doing.
There you go. Love that.
Everything seems okay. Nothing's gone wrong.
You know what? We need a vacation.
Dude. I'm telling you.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. It'd be pretty radical right now.
All right. Well, enough about our personal lives.
Right. Time to get into the fictional life of a character we haven't seen in a while.
Before we get rocking and rolling, as I've said before, we have a YouTube channel at Hindsight Studios. Go ahead and like, subscribe, be a part of that team. That'd be awesome. Leave us a comment. Recently, we got a comment about the potential of our Sailor Moon calendar.
Oh, Jesus.
We got more questions about it, and I thought that it was just a joke, but now it feels like
it's a joke.
It feels like
it's just a running gag.
It's just a running gag. I'm just saying. Only thing I'm saying is if we start a Patreon and we make the highest tier that calendar,
the only way that is physically happening is if you pay me $1 million.
You know what? Hey,
I'm serious.
There's someone out there that wants that.
No, good fucking luck.
Anyways, what I'm saying is that if you go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can get the new videos out there leave us a like, a comment. I'd appreciate it. Of course, as always, you can listen to us on all the major podcasting platforms.
Right.
But let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling in this episode. I have never watched this branch of Ghost in the Shell.
Yes. So far, it has only been the original movie.
Yes.
The live action film and standalone complex that you've seen, as well as the second movie.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I forgot with the live action movie. I actually kind of enjoyed that. Wasn't bad. Standalone complex still just
top tier.
That
remains the king of that franchise.
I love the art and I love the vibe of the movie or movies.
Right.
But standalone complex, I think it's also
just so good.
It also has so many great iconic voice actors in it too that it just I don't know. It's also kind of nostalgic, like I told you before.
Right.
Realizing that I fell asleep watching Cartoon Network and woke up watching Toonami, and like realizing like what
the fuck is this?
What are these big robots and guns and scary stuff. Yeah. So, anyways, this is a cool new take on the franchise. I would say a little more colorful.
Yeah, definitely.
And like a little more saturated, not in a bad way, but just I remember the either or the movie or the show a little bit kind of be a little more desaturated and
with a few exceptions.
Of course. Now stop that.
I can't.
I'm playing. You're right.
Yeah, other than like a few scenes here and there, this one's definitely got it beat in terms of like being vibrant.
I think it's a nice like aesthetic change.
Shit pops.
Yeah. She's got the Major's got like blue hair. Well, when I say that, it makes it feel like it's like a light blue. It's like
more pronounced blue.
It's like a dark blue.
Yeah, as opposed to the black or purple that we're used to.
An azure, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's also rocking the red leather pants and jacket combo, bro.
Badass. I mean,
I needed it.
It's so cool, dude.
Yeah. But
she's also got that really high cropped fringe, like
his forehead is big.
I'm just not even. It's just like she has like the kind of the flat bang out in the front, but it's like that kind of the modern girl has.
It's so her brain can see.
And there you go. Yeah, her third eye can see.
The bangs get in the way.
It's just a cool vibe. I think she's really cool, and she also looks like. I think that's what they're kind of going for. Is that everyone feels a bit younger in this, and that's the kind of vibe that.
Before her team in Section 9 is really established.
Right.
Like in general. Everybody's separated, doing their own things, probably hasn't even met. But that's part of why I like this iteration of it is because you see the build up to that eventuality.
Right.
Because as far as like character development goes, these aren't the same characters you're used to seeing. The Major is still capable, but definitely not as like put together and in charge as she usually is. She
definitely seemed in other iterations of her feel more veteran.
Oh yeah,
like she's been through more stuff. But again, like I said, I think it kind of just plays into the characters that we see right now. They all literally look a bit younger, and a little bit more green.
Armaki especially.
yeah, dude. Yeah,
dude's got the same hairstyle and goatee.
Yeah,
which I mean, like it's jarring to see him that young.
I mean, it felt pretty good.
Well, yeah, it feels good. I'm just saying it's not what I'm used to.
You're right.
That's the point I'm trying to get across.
I see what you mean.
But, dude, Batou.
Yeah, super cool.
Always
cool, dude.
I can only think of, like, he's basically stalking the Major throughout the first half of the film.
Yeah.
And then when they finally meet, like, he's got a reputation in the Rangers, of course, so she knows who he is, like, right off the bat. But,
which is really cool.
Oh, yeah, of course. Like, he's already got a reputation established.
Right.
But, man, as soon as these fights break out, dude, the animation is fantastic.
That's okay. So that's the one thing I would say about this. And this is probably the fact because of the week that I've had.
Yeah.
Like I'm just not firing on all cylinders. But like throughout this entire movie, or episode. There's technically 4 quote unquote OVA like episodes that we'll probably, hopefully we will get to the rest of them because I want to see the rest of them. I'm definitely intrigued. The reason why I was saying I'm not firing all cylinders thing is because the animation was so good, and there's so many times where I don't want to say was distracted, but like I wanted to look at what was on screen, but the subtitles were moving like just quick enough. That was like
real snappy.
Because they were talking pretty directly. The subtitles were on just long enough for them to go away, like for them to fade off or to snap off, and then the next one to pop on.
Right.
So it was not like it would just move from one text to the other. There was like a kind of a blink.
Yeah.
And I realized throughout the first few minutes that like not only was I trying to intentionally read what was being said, but also like I was really intrigued at like to look at what was going on, and was like, bruh, I was falling behind. I was like, I'm trying my best, and we've talked about this in the past.
Right.
It's just a flaw of mine, and specifically tonight it was more apparent.
It was hidden.
I think it was just fast enough,
right?
And I was just wanting to look at this pretty anime really bad. I was like, man, it's just so
I like
cool.
The pictures.
I was like, it was so smooth and so nice, and it feels so modern. And I was like, I was intrigued by it, but was also like, there was a certain point where I literally was like, yo, I'm falling behind a little bit.
Right. Who's this?
Yeah. I would get halfway through each sentence where I was like, I feel like almost to the end of it where I was like, I realized I was with a context clue trying to fill in the last bit of the sentence a little bit.
Oh my God.
It was not bad. It was just enough where I was like, I noticed that I was slower than usual. And I was like, man, how embarrassing.
Gotta shape up.
But anyways, what I'm saying is like, I really enjoy, for that fact, I really enjoyed when like the action would kick on, because then I was like, I was just fixed.
Now I just get to watch.
And whoa.
Yeah.
Did the action of this show hit.
Every time. Not only that, but the sound as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is whenever shit connects.
Oh yeah.
And like and robot bodies are like flailing around, you're like, bruh, this
they're being thrown into walls.
Oh yeah,
and destroying said walls.
Right. And it's so nice, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So one thing I want to ask you about is how do you feel about the characterization of the characters in this movie, like compared to how you're used to seeing them?
I don't mind it because it feels so different,
self-contained.
Not only is it like a different art style. Again, they're also younger, so it feels disconnected enough where it feels like its own thing. I've said this before. I'm not opposed to I'm not so fixed on like a certain franchise,
right? Like
it has to be this way. If you can honor the franchise, like, and creatively do it your own way, and make it good, then I think I'm totally cool with it.
Yeah, and like major differences you're willing to like overlook,
right? Because we're in because it's a self-contained thing. It's like a different time period. The characters look different, and the story was really well executed. I mean, even though I was having a hard time keeping up with the dialogue, I was still comprehending what's like happening a little bit. Probably minus a few details that are probably just like I said because of my what was going on. But I feel like if the art, if like the art or animation was really bad or the story wasn't really well done, then I would probably be singing a different tune. Where I was like, now you kind of
didn't really feel it.
Yeah, right. But this one, I'm like, not only is it aesthetically its own thing, but like it also tells a really good story. And I'm like, I can't really complain with that.
Right.
I think the same can be said about any of my favorite franchises, Star Wars being one of them. Like, barring recent stuff, there have been moments in history where they take it, do their own thing with it, and and tell a really good story with it. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It doesn't have to be so beholden to that thing. But anyways, so I really enjoyed it. The characterization of the characters I thought was I thought was cool. I mean,
Pretty in keeping with early versions of these people, you'd say?
yeah. I don't think there was anything. Yeah, no, I don't think there was anything that was. Nothing stood out. I was like, oh, I didn't like that.
Right. I think one of my favorite aspects of it is Togusa, and that he is generally the same.
Oh yeah, right.
Like unchanged.
Yeah.
He's still a loose cannon, like no nonsense, like private investigator.
Exactly. And that's what I mean is like, even if it was probably different, it's not like it was so devolved from like what his normal character would be.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said just a second ago, I loved the way I love the way the story progressed.
Mm-hmm.
Let me finish my statements before I go off on a tangent again and just start tripping over my words.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's the caffeine. Is that when it comes to the story and how it progressed through, I know that we're dealing with, if I have any context based on other Ghost in the Shell content.
Let's test your knowledge real quick.
If we're going on any other context on Ghost in the Shell stuff, like we're dealing with a specialized task force, dealing with high-valued crime situations, cybercrime, and also a little bit of espionage. Like that's the vibe.
Mm-hmm.
What like no matter like any kind of iteration of it, that's their whole thing. Yeah. It's like a specialized task force doing this job and trying to catch the bad guy, and that's and of course there's the puzzle, almost like Sherlock Holmes investigation of it all, where you're like, ooh, how do all these pieces fit together?
Right.
And so I liked the fact that I could take that concept. Like I knew going into this, you can have that kind of expectation, and that's what you're going to get.
It's a pretty safe bet.
Obviously, the Major's not part of the task force, and we're at we're at the fledgling beginnings of it. Yeah. But again, it all makes sense though, and it's still all it's still there. Where it's like there's this thing, and then we're trying to put these pieces together and figure out what's all happening, and like who did what, who done it, and you know, and I love that, and I think it's great how it trickles along, and for me, it kept me interested the whole way through. Where at no point was I like bored or not at least being pushed along to that next thing.
Yeah.
And I think they did a really good job with that.
I'd like to also note that in the opening for this little OVA, we do get to see all of the members, like the staple members of Section 9. But we only meet a few of them in this first outing. Like we've got the Major, Batou, Togusa, and Pazu, and that's it. So we can only assume that Saito and Borma are going to be showing up along the lines of the next film, I believe.
That's awesome.
But man, like, I remember the first time you see Pazu in this, he's just at a table in a bar playing cards.
Yeah.
And as soon as the Major starts snooping around, he immediately tries to intercept her in an alley with his, like, trademark ass, like, combat knife.
Yep.
Man, I love that they each get, like, their own little section of screen time as far as like establishing them goes. Because whenever you can already tell he's a bit of a gambler.
Right.
Prefers like a knife to any kind of like gun or like barehanded combat.
Right.
And he's immediately like floored.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And apparently he's just working for some sort of private security, maybe private military group, because he mentions as he's got the Major's gun pointed next to his temple.
Oh yeah,
he's just spilling everything. Like we were hired to kill this guy. Right. It's like I'm undercover. I'm fine. It's me.
I've got credentials. I swear.
Right. I'm legitimate. I swear to God.
Yeah.
But,
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I will have to say, I know that's my token phrase for tonight.
You have to.
I have to say this. I have
Gun
to
to your head.
If I don't say this in this episode,
he's dead.
It will be shameful.
Mm-hmm.
I loved. It's. I don't want to say horror. It's like this suspenseful middle where like not all of the details are out yet.
Right.
Throughout the beginning portions, like the Act 1, Act 2 of this specific film,
right,
as there are a couple of signs that like things aren't what they're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. The Major's having these visions, seeing things that aren't supposed to be there.
In her apartment, everything seems normal on the surface, but there's like
flashes of one of those landmine drones, just hanging out,
and it's like, but she turns around, nothing's there. And it's like, oh no,
it's
no,
like,
no, no,
fuck
no,
off
no, no.
with that.
Yeah, and happens once or twice before. Like I said, you get to this middle portion, and this is what I'm talking about by the story. I think, like really kind of like the momentum keeps you going.
Yeah,
is that like we get to this spot where like she is understanding more or has more pieces of the puzzle, and then is able to realize that like she thinks that her brain's being altered, or that like her perception of what's going on is not the way it should be.
She's got these memories supplanted into her mind,
and there's this lovely moment of what I would call the uneasiness, the kind of suspense, the thing that gets me, the thing that makes my skin crawl is when things are what I have noticed as of recently is when things are just a little bit off is what makes my skin crawl, makes my hair stand up. Just thinking about it is giving me goosebumps and kind of making me feel uneasy. And that's what happens for me whenever I've gotten into like the liminal space movement, and I've kind of looked at some of the artwork, and I've seen some things or read some stories or whatever. It's always the ones that everything seems a little bit normal, but it's just a little bit off. There's a couple of like, even like I can't remember what the guy's name is. Anyone out there has probably seen it already. It's probably yelling in the comments. Who has done like the backrooms videos, like the VHS ones, and they get to like some portions where like things are just a little bit normal.
I fucking hate that.
That's what I'm saying, is that like actual monsters, scary, blood and gore, it doesn't really scare me. It just kind of makes me feel gross.
Yeah.
Or like weird situations that make me feel uncomfortable. The thing that gets me, like I don't know what it is, can't explain it.
Yeah.
That gives me that, it makes my hair stand up, and it makes me feel that uneasiness, which then slowly starts to make me question like what's going on, and then the fear sets in for me. Like the thing that makes me scared is things like that, where I've watched videos that guy has made or done things, and things are just not quite right.
Yeah.
Or everything seems perceived to be normal, but then one little thing's off. You're like, I don't know. I'm the only one here, especially if you're alone.
I wasn't there before.
Right. And that's exactly what happens. And I think they executed it so beautifully because it's also in context with everything going on in Ghost in the Shell, being a cyborg.
Yeah.
Having a brain that's like a cyber brain that can be hacked and things. It makes me spiral a little bit into like, oh man, there's a lot of possibilities for things to be altered.
A lot of really freaky what ifs.
She turns around and sees the reflection of that the landmine drone, who's like
in the mirror,
who's like a blonde girl, about shoulder height to me, or average height,
right?
And you're right, sees her in the mirror and is like, and then
so she immediately turns around. And just like tries to feel like, and it's just fucking gone.
Yeah,
it's not in there.
It's not in there. But then she starts like connecting a little more to the puzzle pieces. Like, I think I understand now that she may have always been in here, but my eyes are lying to me. And then it's like,
used.
I don't know.
Not a fan.
And then she like turns back around, and then all of a sudden there's like markings all on the wall. And then I'm like, get me out.
Yeah.
And then it's like, because it looks like a schizophrenic, or like
just
a
the
like
scrawlings of a madman.
Right. And then there's this photo that for the entire movie, she's had this photo of like these two men behind her as a child, and this woman that's like, I think supposed to be her mother.
Right.
And at one point in time, she looks at it, and the mother's gone, but it's just the two men and her. And then she like looks at it again, and then it's just the two men. And then so like every time she like,
what the fuck?
Every time she looks around, something else is not right. And then she like turns back around, and then the landmine girl drone thing is right there in front of her. And I'm like, I don't like this, because then it's like I would hate that.
Yeah.
I'm in a place that is my home that I'm comfortable with, and every time I turn around, something's different and changed. I'm like, that makes it makes my skin crawl. It gives me this like this existential dread of like, because at that point it's like you can't trust the one thing that you know is real, and it's in your mind and your eyes, and it's like, oh man, I'd be flipping my shit.
Yeah, go insane.
And then of course, like I think is she technically part of the military? Is that what? Or she's like currently
she was part of some sort of special unit for cybernetics.
Okay.
Like I can only assume it was just some kind of specialized combat unit.
Right. But her superiors go into her room, and then we're assuming it's the aftermath of her fighting that landmine drone.
Right.
But it's also like they walk into the room, turn the lights on, and for the first time it's like well lit and not like dark like we've always seen that room.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's well lit. You see just like the bed, a mess, like a smashed hole in the wall, these scrawlings everywhere, and it's like it was the last scene,
a crime scene.
It was the last scene was perfection, like a normal room.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just like slowly devolved into this like mess, and then of course they walk back in there, and it's like,
what the fuck happened in here?
This woman has lost her mind. It's wild, and I love that, because I mean it's like it's right there, like at that, it's like that transition point where we're heading into like the conclusion of the film. And I loved it, because again it made me feel uncomfortable and weird, and it also was like it's the nice kind of like plot switch where like the bad guy you've been searching for the whole time was actually you, and it's like it's fun, and I love it, even though I kind of it may have been predictable to some people, but for me I still thought it was fun.
It's the exact kind of scenarios like that I don't want to deal with if like full body cybernetics shake down that way, because man, I only want one person's thoughts in my head, and that's my own.
Right.
But anything more than that, no. I would
even the
not.
little bit of like the, excuse me, had a hiccup. Even the little bit of like tremors she had, like she had in her right hand, she would like have these like spasms or whatever. And it's even things like that where I know that is a very real thing that happens to people in real life, excluding cybernetics, where they have twitches or stutters or tremors or whatever it is that would have, that kind of makes it's kind of crazy that like, as a person, for me who has like full motor skills, it's hard for me to think about the fact that, like I can't control my body in a way. But it makes it even more so the fact that it's like electronic for some reason. At least in my mind,
you don't know if it's like mental or physical,
right? Or you're being hacked.
Yeah, somebody like fucking with me, or is this just a glitch?
Yeah. At least if I have some sort of tremors, I know it's because I'm having like a physical thing that I can't, or whatever. But if I'm being hacked by somebody else, I'm like, screw you, buddy.
Right. I'm gonna fucking find you.
I'm gonna find you inside my own head. I have to go run malware, malware sweep on my brain.
Yeah. Just a quick antivirus scan.
Yeah. Windows Defender runs up here.
Oh god,
man. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see where this goes.
Nice little return to the franchise.
Oh man,
after a decent break.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember what the last thing we watched for this was?
Ghost in the Shell.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Standalone Complex. But I was gonna say Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex, but then I stopped myself because I'm like, why am I saying that?
You're
and
right.
Then it just sounded like I was saying Ghost in the Shell.
It's like, you know what? You're right.
You know what?
You're not wrong.
But I want to say,
which one?
I want to say last time we finished in its completion was Standalone Complex.
Yes.
I want to say that we may have rewatched one of the movies with Ethan. Or you may
we watched the live action one with Ethan.
Oh, then that actually may have been...
We did record an episode for that.
That may have been the last thing then, because I think we watched that after the show.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But even that was a while ago.
Yeah. Oh, God.
That won our award.
Oh my God, you're right.
Of 2022?
Yeah.
Question mark?
3? I'm thinking it was 3. We haven't done the
No.
Hyunsees.
The Hyunsees was for last year was for something different, I think.
So then what one last year?
Oh God. It's embarrassing that we can't remember.
Oh no.
I'm
we don't have the plaques made yet.
Bruh.
The trophies.
Wow.
What was it?
Godzilla Final Wars. Of course it was.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The Kaiju's elbow.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I don't even remember that.
Really?
I remember like parts of it, but not like the whole thing. Damn.
We did a whole episode talking about that. We talked about all of our episodes from that past year.
Oh my God.
And that's the one that was our winner.
Woof.
And then
my memory's shot, man.
You got to go back and listen to them.
Alzheimer's.
So yes, we in January of 23, Phantom in the Frame won the award for the year of 22.
Okay.
So it was 22. Same thing. So for Final Wars, we did it at the beginning of this year for last year.
Wow.
Oh man. That was a great movie.
It was.
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
I'm actually really curious if we watched any not so great movies that we thought were going to be bad but actually turned to be good this year? Anything to merit the Hyunse Award?
We haven't. I don't think we have.
We got to pad the numbers a little bit.
We do. I have to get the rest of the Tremor movies.
Oh my God. Oh wow.
That's like 7 other Hyunsees in a row.
Yeah, there you go. Are they bad but actually or
I'm sure everything after the first one is garbage. From what I recall.
I'm just looking here at our past episodes, and I just saw Willem Dafoe jump scare from the Boondocks thing that made me laugh.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, man.
This show makes me happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that we do it.
Good.
Yeah. But I'm excited to see where this show takes off.
Be looking forward to it. You're going to fucking love the next one.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Well, and so at the ending of this, she ends up wiping her memories of what?
All of the fake stuff, like her caretaker.
Oh, I see.
That was in the photo that never really existed.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that she like erased all of it, and so I was kind of confused when she was like talking to everyone like all buddy, and I was like, oh, so I must have missed something.
Right.
It was just the false memories.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm excited to see like the not only the formation of the team, but to see more of those characters I love so much in this kind of new iteration of them. This was a great introduction to all of the characters, or not all of them, but like some of the high characters.
Most of them.
But obviously, I could tell that this story was like obviously very focused on the major.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the team aspect again and see how.
Oh, you're gonna love it.
The fact that you're saying that, I trust you,
yeah.
and so I know it's gonna probably be great, and I'm excited
to
hear that. It makes me really happy. So,
yeah.
Anything else you want to touch on for this?
Oh man, if I'm being honest, I've had a hankering to rewatch Standalone Complex.
Oh man. I want to feel that weight again.
It's going to hurt, dude, so much.
Man, I still love how even in this one, the Logicoma, I still love...
We didn't even mention the Logicoma. Oh, my God.
What a cool look.
It's wonderful. A lot more angular.
Dude, and the one thing I think is so interesting about this is the fact that the Major like only interacts with red objects.
Right.
She wears the red leather pants, the red leather jacket, has a sick-ass Akira-esque red motorcycle. It's super cool and badass.
Yeah.
And, of course, this Logicoma comes up, and it's just this red, interesting robot thing.
Giant
I'm like,
machine.
Hell yeah.
I love whenever it first appears because it it only communicates through signals.
Yeah.
She's like, how old is this thing?
Yeah, what the heck?
So she gives it some conversation software. That's literally what it says on the screen. It's just conversation. And Of course, it's got the most adorable voice imaginable.
Of course.
My sweet little babies.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I love the what is it called? The shit. I know there's a word for it.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fact that it's this huge brutish machine
right.
that just has this like cute kawaii little voice.
Yeah.
The kind of the there's a word for it and it's escaping me right now because I'm exhausted and can't think of it.
I see.
The kind of the
juxtaposition.
Yeah, juxtaposition. Yep. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I would have never found the juxtaposition.
It's tucked away in there somewhere.
I know. I had to dig out of a barrel. My word barrel. What? Anyways, is that the juxtaposition between having this like this crazy complex machinery and this like, hey, what's going on?
Right.
And then she's like, go ahead and disappear.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. It just,
that's why I love them so much, man.
Right.
I'll never get sick of those little bastards.
I think that was the greatest introduction to like the optical stealth or whatever. Mm-hmm. She's like, I got it from here. Go ahead and disappear. And she's like, okay. And just like vanishes.
Yeah. It's like thermoptic camouflage. I was like, what Jesus Christ.
Damn, all right.
Section 9's got all the gizmos.
I also love the idea that she like parks her bike and she's like, hey, Logicoma, just like guard the bike and stay here. And it's like, all right. And it's
sure.
Like, and it's just like standing over it.
Right. It's just invisible.
I love that.
I can only imagine at one point some dude like tried to steal it and then just got his ass like knocked on the ground.
Not even just
by a ghost.
Just the camouflage turns off. Right. That's all it would
stop.
Take. At that point, I'd be like,
like, oh shit, a bike and a robot.
Nah.
It's my lucky day. Oh man.
Yeah. To be honest, I even just want to I want to watch the last couple episodes of Standalone Complex just to just to feel that feeling.
Oh yeah.
You know, of just.
It's so good.
I'm not because I'm not saying that like not watching it that. What is the proper English terminology for this? This is my native language.
You're
I
not
should know
saying
how
that
to.
The rest of the show,
what I'm trying to say
is not as good,
and not have a bunch just a word salad of double negatives. Is that you should definitely watch the whole series?
Yeah,
because it is great and it really adds to this like grand conclusion.
Oh yeah,
but. At the same time, I just want to get the context for that like last little bit, just to like really, like I said, reignite that fire of like, oh,
it's wonderful.
I want to feel the joy and the sadness of that beautiful moment because it's
shit makes me tear up, man.
That's what I'm saying. And sometimes, call me crazy, call me emotional, but like I love watching that. I love watching moments like that in film and movies and in TV shows and all that kind of stuff. Just that. It's so good. I recently was scrolling through Instagram or whatever and stumbled across like somebody's first reaction to the conclusion of Lord of the Rings.
Really?
And I think it was saying like this is my girlfriend's first time like completing the Lord of the Rings, and he's like behind the couch, like kind of like filming, like just like the kind of situation,
like a hermit,
yeah. Or I think just that moment or whatever it was like on
the Gollum over the shoulder,
on the other side of the couch or over the couch. I'm not sure where he was. Doesn't matter. The clip that I'm watching is obviously this girl watching the Batou, like the whole the Mount Doom scene where like they're throwing it in or whatever.
Right, the final act.
Oh yeah, and it's just this whole crazy thing, and of course like the whole Samwise thing was like I can't carry it, but I can carry you. Right. It's just this. I mean, like this, like I mean, like lovely moment. It was very brief, but she's like no, and she's like screaming, and it's like this great emotional moment where it's like to feel that feeling again of just this like. I don't. It's magical. It's great storytelling.
Oh yeah,
and that's exactly what Standalone Complex did. Was really just, I mean, have this what feels like a little side through line throughout this entire show that is so sentimental and heartwarming and awesome, and just like there's little bitty moments throughout the whole series that really culminates in this like oof at the end, and I love that. I mean, obviously, it makes me sad.
Right. Fucking driving a nail in my heart.
Right. But at the same time, it's just... this is where I've gotten judged before in the past. and I'm okay with it because I will always say this, and I believe this wholeheartedly. If anybody else believes, please stand up and say I. That art makes you feel something, and whether it is good art, bad art. I mean, it could be anything. TV shows, like music or movies, or even like artwork on the wall or performances. Art is supposed to. The whole point of art is to,
aside from like self-expression, it should also convey a feeling.
Exactly. It should invoke a feeling in people. Exactly. You're giving a bit of yourself. You're self-expressing, and for me at least, the hope is that also someone can look at that and go, I feel your self-expression, or I feel something. Whether, and again, and this could be, and this is where the kind of the controversy comes in, where people kind of judge me for it. Is that even if I don't like it, even if I hate it, or or it's making me feel uncomfortable, I still consider that art, even probably good to a degree, because I'm like, oh, I don't.
If it sets out to make you feel that way, then
right, or again, it just may not be for me. But the fact that like I listened to a song that,
like say you see something on the wall in like an art gallery, and you're just like, man, that's a piece of shit. Great job.
Well, that's like, and like that's a comedic way of saying it. But for me, at least, as a person who also makes art and has done music and other things like that, like. That's also kind of what I'm going for. Yeah. Even if you hate it, even if like you look at that and say like, this makes me feel uncomfortable, this makes me feel angry. Right. I'm like,
but you took the time to make it, and I respect that.
Exactly. And you're like, but exactly. And at that, you're like, I'm glad you're feeling that, or you're feeling something. And because again, I may not have had that feeling. Right. No one else may have that. But you can look at that and go, oh, it makes me angry. And I'm like, I don't know why, but like.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Good job.
And the thing is, I don't expect everyone to feel that way. Yeah. But like as a fellow artist, I have looked at things that I'm like, this makes me uncomfortable. I'm talking about the whole liminal space thing, or like things like in that space where it's like it's kind
genuine
of horror, or things like that make me feel uncomfortable. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like watching this. But it's making me feel something that's interesting, and it's invoking something inside of me that's making me feel something weird. And I'm like, I want to stop looking at it, but I can also, in the same breath, go, good on you. Yeah. Good on you for making me feel that.
Right.
And I don't think people, like I said, people don't understand that, because I think it's a lot of times people want to feel happy or emotional or something at art, and I don't blame them. No one wants to feel angry or upset at anything, but like that's the way it is. Yeah. And I think that, like I said, it's part of being human. That's the part of the human experience, in my personal opinion. Yeah. And there's like so many things with art and with movies and with things like that just make me feel that joy and that love. Again, referring back to Standalone Complex,
the Tachikoma are a prime example for me
of like just this love, that what you thought had no capacity for love, had the ultimate love in sacrificing itself. And it's like, ooh,
Iron Giant type shit.
Hey, 100%. Where you're like, there's no greater expression of selflessness than to give your life.
The boundary between organic and machine was blurred that day.
Right. Again, to where even the people that were from the very beginning were discrediting the self-sufficient. They're just a think tank. It's nothing. It's like, you know what? I was wrong.
Yeah.
And then
had no fucking clue.
And at that point, it's like, that's what I'm talking about. It's like there's so many things that culminate to where you're like, I feel in a weird way from a robot what true love was between two beings of some capacity. And it made me feel that love, which makes me sad because obviously they're dead.
Right.
Spoiler alert.
Destroyed.
And it's like, it's so powerful. And I love that because I mean, no one likes to be sad, but I like to watch art that makes me feel that.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, good on you. Good on you for telling a story.
Shit's quality.
That's what I'm talking about. This is what I'm looking for in media nowadays. Is things that can make me think about things and also like make me express my emotions in a way where I'm like,
yeah.
It's a Thursday afternoon, and I'm over here. I'm over here contemplating what love means between a robot and a human.
On the soapbox. Give him a mic, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what I'm talking about. I love things like that. Even music has done the same thing for me. A lot of times there's been some really great music that may be a certain genre that people don't really care about. There's this great band called Evergrey, and there's a couple of songs from them that just. It hits the right chords. It has the right feeling that like just hearing these like swelling guitar riffs and this like beautiful stuff. I'm like, makes me emotional. I think I've talked about it in the podcast before. There's a couple of songs that are metal centric or rock centric that have these great lyrics. They're just like, push to your limits and then beyond. And it's like, it's just so.
Like, damn straight I will.
Hell yeah. I'm about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's just all that kind of stuff. So let me go ahead and hold on one second while let me step off the soapbox.
Right.
There we go. Sorry. Had to get on
okay,
there.
seminar's over.
Yeah.
Moving on.
And thus is the conclusion of my TED Talk. Thank you. And then I'll insert a crowd applause.
Oh, God. Right. Standing ovation.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to touch on? You want to hop on the soapbox next? You got anything you want to get off your chest?
No, there's not enough soap in there.
I can get more.
No. No, I think that'll do.
Yeah, I think that's enough.
Yeah, I mean, not much else that I can think of right offhand.
And then let me just clarify. I know I had that whole tangent, but let me just clarify that. Obviously, that feeling that I was talking about by like I'm angry or I feel displeasure at something. A lot of times, like it's geared towards things that I think is still intentional and unique and its own thing and art in its own regard. I wouldn't say the same thing about something like a franchise that was taken and then was just like written poorly.
Oh yeah.
And like there's no
bastardized.
There's no inspiration, or they're trying to push an agenda or things like that. That's less so the things that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm feeling like I have to defend myself, but just to kind of further iterate that point that I was talking about of like there are works of art. Even movies that we've watched where like there's a lot of money and people and time went into these things and I may not have liked them or they may have inflicted an emotion where I was like, I don't like that. And I have more often than not tried to check myself in that regard of like, but someone still made that. Right. Someone still made that and someone probably still cares a lot about that. And it probably makes them feel a certain way looking at that. Or people love looking at that. Or there's a certain genre of music that I don't like. I am not by any means a big fan of country music.
Right.
But there are some great country artists that I like, even in like modern history, that I think have written catchy and great songs for their demographic. Yeah. That as a musician, I could look at and go, there is talent here. You have done a good job.
It's just not my cup of tea.
It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Like things like that as well, where I'm like, you know, I'm not having that same thought and feeling towards like trash content or whatever, but like a lot of times I can see the
it's just a matter of preference.
Of course. But yeah, you know, but I can still appreciate art in all its forms.
Yeah.
I felt the same about paintings and other things where I'm like, I don't know why
painting's fun, man. I haven't painted in years.
We should do it. We should paint.
Where's the canvas?
Well, I gotta go get one.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Winding down.
I'm trying to spool it back up again.
Oh yeah.
crank the engine.
Yep.
Okay.
It's like, give me more caffeine.
Yeah.
Somebody get the man some coffee. He's deactivated.
Top me up. Here we go. Thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for all your support and all your kind words towards this podcast. It's been so great and I've said this throughout the past couple episodes. I feel like we're really hitting a stride on YouTube and some other platforms as well.
Wait here, more sweet nothings, please.
Yeah. It's been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's really awesome to know that there's a couple of people out there that are really jiving with what we're talking about, and I love that, and it makes me happy.
I'll say it every time.
I know you're surprised, but I knew there's at least a couple of people out there. I know there's one person specifically I've been talking to on the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
You know who you are.
He's out there.
I love you, buddy. I appreciate the fact that you make me laugh on a weekly basis with your comments.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, and for all of those out there who are looking to find this, you can go into YouTube and you can do / @Hindsight Studios, or you can just go into the search bar and type @Hindsight Studios. And you can find our YouTube channel and subscribe, like this episode and comment or all that kind of stuff. We're also on all the major podcasting platforms. Yeah.
Yep.
Until next week. Thank you so much for listening.
See ya.
Bye-bye. I'm going to go take a nap.
Me too.